script, same joke, same face. Yeah, I'm over it. New tab, new flame, new show, new name. We don't play the same lane, we don't shake the same frame. One night it's cold cases, next night main pages. Headline heat, biggest waves without beat. Hit replay every week, new crew talking, new chair, new host walking. Spin the wheel of what's trending, and say the thing they are defending. But this is no safe tapes, uncensored conversation, unfiltered, unapologetic. We ask every question, true crime, pop culture. What's breaking while you wait? Take a break from the boring. Come get lost in no safe takes, no safe takes, no safe takes. Take a break from the boring. Come get loud with no safe takes.
Hello, everyone. This is going to be super awkward because we're recording this and you're not there in the chat while we record it, because we decided to move away from live streaming and try and capture some of our natural conversations that happen here in a Discord voice chat. So this is our particular No Safe Takes Discord that our hosts are in and that we talk in fairly commonly. And we figured we'll try it a different way and see how you like it. Please let us know in the comments if you hate it or if you love it.
Yeah.
I love it also because eventually people who are interested in joining the conversations could eventually join, and it'll just grow and get more people.
Definitely. How's everybody's week going so far?
Hot.
Oh my God.
Hot.
Yes.
Everybody is super hot right now. We've had the air running all week long. It has been crazy.
It's 48 here.
Every day, winter, fall, spring, summer. I'm hot non-stop.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am.
It's like
Oh, wow.
95 here.
I don't know what's happening right now. I think y'all missed Tess saying that it was 47 degrees there.
It is.
Oh.
It was 85 the other day. Now we're back down into the 40s again.
Because that's not bipolar at all.
No, it's great.
We're dipping to the 50s also in a couple of days, but it's 95 today.
It was 86 the other day here. Now back down.
It's bipolar weather.
Yep.
We're dipping too, but we're only dipping to like the 70s, but it's still a big change for a couple of days from how it is right now, because it's like 90, 92.
Yeah. It's like record high right now on the East Coast for the time at
Why are
least.
we dipping though? Is there a cold front coming through or something?
I think so.
It hasn't made up their mind. It's like, not time yet to put away your sweaters, but at the same time, like, take out your bathing suit.
Yep.
Mother Nature's screwing us every way.
It's El Nino.
Yeah,
it is.
El Nino.
That's what they say about everything. Everything is El Nino. That's how I feel, at least.
What's El Nino mean though? Crazy?
Oh, girl, do we have to go there?
I mean, you can talk dirty to me. It's fine.
I'll lose you about 3 sentences into the conversation.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's a breakdown in the atmosphere that's causing the weather to change, as well as climate change and all of the things.
Sheesh.
Yeah. See? That's your recap. And yeah. No, it is a real thing. El Nino is a real thing. Yeah. And I think there's an El Nino too, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100%
It's
sure.
La Nina, but basically that's the opposite one.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Does anybody have anything like that they're like, ooh, I really wanted to talk about this? Or you want me to just go through my list of random things I wanted to talk about?
Random things.
Okay.
I mean, I'm down with random things too.
Okay, so this weekend, did anybody watch the Ronda Rousey UFC fight, her retirement last alleged fight?
Yes, of course.
No.
I did.
Now, God bless both of you. Step back.
Immediately, Rousey takes Carano down, but Carano looking for the guillotine. And Rousey pops her head out in full mount, ground and pound. Rousey looking for the arm, and already the arm, it's over. Mamma mia! It is just incredible. The most devastating finish in MMA history. And Ronda Rousey just took another arm hostage. And just like that, it's over.
What did you think about it?
Well, I think
it's a lot of money.
Yes, Tiny. Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. Like, she just went in there, did her thing. It took with her intro, it was all of like 17 minutes to something like
17
that.
seconds.
17
17
seconds. Her
seconds.
intro took about a minute and a half, but the
Yeah,
fight
so
was only
that's what it
17
was.
seconds long.
That's what it was. The intro was longer than the fight. The fight was 17. I was thinking all total it was 17, but listen, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for
A lot of money.
She made $2.2 million for that fight. And I think the other gal made, I think, 1 point something million for the fight.
Yeah.
It's $1 million a minute. Think about that.
Seconds. Seconds. That was a hit it and get it if I've ever seen one. There was so much build up. So much build up to this fight. And
Is
then
that what
it
it
was so
was?
anticlimactic. Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
like a knockout? Like, why did it end so
No,
quick?
she
No, it
locked
was
her
an
arm.
arm bar.
Yeah. And the girl
Huh?
tapped out so that her arm didn't get broken.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You finna break.
I felt like, is it possible that it was a little bit of a setup to like let Ronda go out on top?
Yep.
Oh,
Because
for
people
sure.
knew it was her last fight.
Everything's
sure.
set up.
Yeah.
Remember
But
Mike
it-
Tyson
Especially
and
with
Jake
people.
Paul?
Didn't she kind of stay on top no matter what, anyways, though? Like,
No. she's
okay, the
got
way
her tail kicked sideways several times. But this was like her comeback moment, go out on top moment. But it was this huge buildup, and then the other girl, tried to take her down. But as soon as she did, Rhonda just overpowered her and got her in the armbar immediately, and it was over.
Yeah, I was surprised at how fast she got her in an armbar because I don't normally watch UFC, but I like turned my head and then immediately was like, oh no. And I'm like hearing the announcer. I turned my head the other way and I'm like, wait a second. Like, how did they end up on the floor in this position? And now her arm is stuck. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. But
I think
good
she
for
was
her.
undefeated in her beginning, like when her first career started. She had like a long or something like that. Like she was undefeated for a long time and always known to be like a mega badass, in my opinion. So I think it's cool that she came out on top either way. You know what I mean? Because of that,
Yeah.
it's like an awesome career.
Yeah, I think that part is cool for her to end it on that note.
Have you guys heard of Clarissa? What was her name?
Shields.
Collins.
The Olympic boxer?
No.
Oh.
Clarissa Collins. And she's this influencer that I think it was like Repzilla or something. Like I had just like scrolled on the shorts, and she is very controversial in the moment because she has biracial children, a lot of children, beautiful children, but she is being accused of whitewashing all of the photos. So all the photos that you go through, there's clear differences where in one photo, like they appear much darker, and then in the next, all of a sudden they are completely more Caucasian looking, to the point where people are analyzing it and saw the top half of like a little 2-year-old is completely white, and then the bottom half is much darker. You guys haven't heard about this?
I have not. Is it a filter that she's putting on the photos or something?
Again, I haven't looked enough into it because I just found it, but apparently, no, it is a clear line of demarcation of where there was editing done, and so she claims, no, she hasn't, but if you just look through the progression of photos, it is very obvious that that's not the same skin tone that was in one photo to current.
What else did she do? Like, what is her influence that is she just a mommy
She's
person?
a family vlogger, but apparently
Okay.
she and Christian, like, and has been very, very outspoken as far as wanting more boys, but being blessed with a bunch of girls and being very upset about it and being outspoken about it.
Oh wow.
But that's all I've gathered so far. I intend to watch his long stream video. I just scrolled a couple of shorts, and then
What is
something
her name
about
again?
Carissa Collins. Carissa is with a K.
Okay.
Then there
Okay,
was,
thank you.
like a bunch of conversation about her neglecting the kids, them always being in full diapers. She openly has admitted online that she doesn't change diapers all the time, but people have gone through the photos and been like, this is to the point where that diaper is almost hanging off, So there's just a lot of buzz going around currently surrounding her.
Oh, I can see what I can see where they would. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at some of the photos that you can get when you Google her name. And it does, like, there are some photos that I think sometimes in every, like, obviously DNA is so different with each person, but I think sometimes there are traits that children get when they are biracial. And some of the traits at some point in time can come out from one parent or the other, no matter what the mixed race
for
is,
sure.
right? And so to me, I feel like in some of these photos I'm seeing a lot of her kids, even though you can see some of the her husband appears to be African American, you can see some of the traits that show in the children, whether it be in their facial features or their hair, their curl patterns, things like that. But the pictures themselves seem to, like, give every kid has the same exact skin tone in the photos, and that's a really hard. There's 1, 2 in the photo I'm looking at is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Big
10
family.
kids.
Yeah.
10 kids in the photo, and they all have the same exact skin tone.
Well, and like I follow this
And
other
that's hard to do.
blogger. I think they're the Fluins. She's the white Caucasian. Her husband is African American. Their 2 daughters look just like dad. And then their son looks just like mom with the blonde hair and the blue eyes. So absolutely, like, each individual one can have different traits, different skin tones, different eye colors. But when you have comparisons, right, like, you wouldn't imagine that same, like, not saying that you can't fluctuate at all, like, over time, like, things have changed, but all of them in a short period of time, all of a sudden in these photos appearing a lot lighter than they just were, it makes you question, like, are you, that's at least what the topic is. Are you whitewashing the photos of your children?
Yeah. I mean, if she's doing that, that's pretty, that number one, it's fucked up to do public anyways. But even to do that, you have to, like, your kids would have to know when they see their pictures online that, like, that's not what I'm looking like, right?
Absolutely.
And what message are you sending your kids if that's the case? Like,
Yeah.
their brown skin, there's something wrong with it, and we need to make it lighter for the world. So if she is doing that, I think it's fucked up for sure.
It's so sad. How old are the kids? Like, what's the range of age? Really young to, like, teenager, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with, maybe in the picture I'm looking at, maybe about 6 months up to maybe early teens, 13, 14-ish.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And they're going to be on social media before you know it, if,
Yes.
I just
So
put
they'll
in
be able to see it.
for you guys to see, like, you could see the ones below where they appear, which, but at least personally, I think
Oh my
biracial is
gosh.
the most beautiful skin tone you could have.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yes.
they're
And then
so beautiful. All
so
of them.
beautiful. All of them naturally. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden
Oh
these
my
photos get
gosh.
posted where they appear lighter and lighter. But there was one in this video I watched where this little 2-year-old, from the legs down, she was in like a summer outfit. So the legs down appear to be her normal skin color. And then from the top up, completely whitewashed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's
And
sad.
I think they're just so, I think, they're prettier naturally, of course. Like, look how gorgeous they are and the glow in their skin, and just like, and then why would you ever do that? I don't.
Yeah. I'll try and
It's
add
bad.
photos during the into the video here, so people can see on the screen 2 different, videos from that people are showing online.
It makes me think of
That way they
2
have a
stories
visual.
I've been watching lately. I don't know if you guys have seen. One is regarding Ryan from Teen Mom and his new girlfriend, and, like, they were in, like, they actually met in rehab and they were doing really good. Like, they both looked so healthy. And now, it's like, she's an influencer now too. And now they're posting, you know, all over social media, and they don't look very good, and their behavior is erratic. And like, she drove her SUV up onto the mausoleum yard, like on Mother's Day, to give her mom flowers, and it started this big thing. The funeral home was really upset because she backed it all the way up to the wall and then stood on top of her Jeep to reach the top row. And like, just her behavior in it, and they look really rough, and just so that's one. And a lot of people are really concerned. And then you have the other half of people who are mad that people are even concerned. And then the other influencer one I've been watching is James Charles. Like, you know, they found this. Did you see the TikToks he was making?
What
Like,
a
When
piece
is
of
he gonna
shit.
get canceled? When are they gonna actually be like, this kid needs to be done? Like, get rid of this
I
guy
know.
off the internet.
James
They
Charles
found-
is proof that cancel culture does not actually work.
No, I mean,
He's been
Yes.
canceled so many
Wild.
times and goes nowhere.
Yeah. And so they found this like other TikTok account of his, right? Where he's like where he's talking to a smaller audience. It's still a large TikTok, but it's way smaller than his original. And he's on there responding to emails. Like this one lady who reached out to him and said, you know, I work for American Airlines and they just laid us off. And I created this GoFundMe. And he was like, really? Go get a job. Like, welcome to the real world. Who are you to send out an email just begging for people online to help you?
Let's take a look at how he handled this situation.
I just got a DM on here from a girl that said, "Good morning, James. I know you'll probably never see this, but if you could just take 1 minute to read it, would really mean a lot to me. I'm really struggling right now because Spirit Airlines just filed for bankruptcy and I have lost my job. On me link. Any donations help." I'm sure they do, sweetheart. I'm sure they do. You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that. Because in the time that it took you to copy and paste the same ass message to myself, who you don't follow, by the way, and probably
Wait, does he have curlers?
100 other influencers and celebrities, you could have applied for 100 other jobs, but you didn't because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're entitled. And you think that influencers and celebrities should fund your life for you. Why would I ever help you? You're not a fan. You don't even follow me. You've never supported me. This is your first time DMing. And you think that I'm going to send you money because you lost your job? Oh my God. Welcome to the real world, sweetheart. People lose their jobs every fucking day, and you're white, pretty, and able-bodied. You're in a much better position than a lot of other people out here who are trying clearly much harder to make a better life for themselves. Why would I fucking help you?
And like, then Jackie Aina, she responded to it, and she was like, you know, she put him in place. And then now people suspect that because it was her and she has like a name and a big platform, that he actually made another video, like kind of apologizing and explaining his stance. But it's like this whole thing. He's so rude.
So did you see he donated? He went and finally donated to her, but he only gave $500. Like,
no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that. And I don't think that like anybody is entitled to his money. I don't think it's like that at all. But in actuality, had he educated himself, it was actually Spirit Airlines. Right. And employees had no clue that when they woke up that morning, they would have no job. They all walked into work thinking their jobs were secure and the entire company was bankrupt and gone. And now none of them had jobs. So imagine, like, it's an entire company across the country that has been affected by this. So at her reaching out, like, she did have a job. And I don't think it automatically means that, like, he has to pay towards the GoFundMe. But, like, talk that shit to your friends. Like, hell no, I don't owe you anything. Like, I'm not giving that person that stuff. But to do a video, a public video, trashing the person who is, like, going through one of probably the worst times of their lives, it just speaks to the entitlement that I feel like he has.
Yeah,
don't
absolutely agree.
Don't think I'm a total piece of shit, but I can't help but feel like I wouldn't, like, it's a weird position to be put in either way. Like, to me, it's, y'all don't find it weird that a random person reached out? Like, what made them
Yes.
think
I
that
do
James Charles
I
You
just
know,
don't
it's
think he needs
like,
to make the whole big statement and call her a loser and not having a job. And
yeah,
I
exactly.
I think you
Yeah,
can roll your eyes at that email and be
yeah,
like, this bitch and the audacity of her to email me this.
which
Like,
is
why does
what
she
he
think
should
I owe
have
her
did.
anything, right? Which is,
Yeah,
again, I have no problem with that being your private sentiments. But him
right.
going online to read the email, discuss the situation, and then bash the woman,
Yeah,
that's where
I
I
agree.
understand the sentiment, but I have a problem with him because of that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I couldn't help but think, like, I don't know if I could bring myself to, reach out to somebody like that. And
And maybe she's desperate. Like maybe she's like,
Yeah.
I have no other way to
maybe
do
she
this.
likes him. Maybe she's like
And
a fan of his.
yeah, and
Oh
you hear all
no,
the time, celebrities will, help out in random times where people are in need. And so maybe she was desperate enough to be like, listen, I need anybody and everybody's help. I'm gonna send a message to
Well,
everybody.
you know what celebrity doesn't reach out and help
Oprah,
when
who won't open up her road in Hawaii.
damn you,
Was that the one? Because there's so many you could choose from.
you just stole my joke, bitch.
I'm so sorry. I'm
No,
so
but
sorry. I'll go
listen to
back on
this.
mute.
No, listen though. So part of his rant was that, I mean, you didn't even say, I've been following for years. You could have personalized it.
No,
Hi, sister, I'm going through a hard time. You didn't even add that. It was just like you have sent it out to a bunch of influencers. Like he was saying basically, and you aren't even a fan of mine. And you ask me, you don't follow me. And he showed you don't even follow me or something like that. And yeah.
he's like, you
it is
copy and
kinda weird
pasted
being
to
beneath the
Mr.
belt.
Beast and me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which to
Y'all
me just
know
felt like he just wanted to drag her. It wasn't
yeah.
really about, the audacities. It was more like he just wanted somebody to drag. And
he
he felt
wanted to
like
be
taking
petty.
the moment to kick somebody while they're down was the right thing
Well,
to
at
do.
least if he's
Yeah.
dragging grown ass women, he's not dragging underage boys, I guess. So I guess we'll take
Allegedly, in our
one for the
opinion.
can.
Right. None, yeah, allegedly, in our opinion. He probably, I mean,
Oh,
yeah, never mind. Let me not say it.
Okay, today, all across my timeline today, this case came up. It's a guy named Scott. I'm gonna assume it's pronounced Nazo or Nazo. Have y'all heard of his grandparent rights case? It's really big right now.
It's rights with his late wife's parents.
This is about parents' rights. Being a grandparent doesn't give you inherent rights to your grandchildren.
Which was like, listen, grandparent rights, it's a privilege, like it is, and so he had a fight. Go ahead,
Yeah.
you explain it.
So his wife had battled breast cancer before. She was in remission. In 2023, she wasn't feeling well. Her parents were both doctors and they were her doctors. Okay. So she's fighting and she's telling them, I don't feel good. I don't feel right. Something's going on. And they're just like, oh, it's just side effects of a medication. Oh, it's just this, it's just that. Finally, her and her husband decide to get a second opinion outside of her parents. When they go to get a second opinion, it's determined that she has a golf ball sized tumor in her brain.
Oh,
okay.
no.
And she goes in for brain surgery the next day, and she is in a coma when she comes out from brain surgery. She dies 11 days later. So the parents during that time, they're still the daughters, their granddaughter, they're her pediatrician. The dad comes home or out of the hospital to find them pinning his daughter down to give her a medication. It was prednisone that they were giving her, but they were both, the grandma and grandpa were holding her down to give her this medication because they claimed she had croup. And the dad felt like, that's it, that's all. I don't want you around my kid. Like, I see what happened with my wife, and that I had read, he hasn't blamed them for the wife's death at all. He's just saying, I've seen where it went with my wife. I don't want to go down this road. You guys are not safe. And they weren't respecting boundaries. So he's at a friend's house talking to a friend, right? And he's like, I feel like every time I talk to them, they're bringing up something that I said to somebody else, like I'm being recorded everywhere that I go. Turns out they had like, I don't know, planted or put or something like that, a microphone on him that recorded everything that he said, like in something, like maybe he put on his watch or whatever. So they were recording his every move. And when that got played in the court, the judge was like, you guys misunderstand this. For the last 2 years, he has had to pay for lawyers. Instead of grieving his wife, he has had to pay for lawyers to be able to actually fight to not allow them to see their granddaughter. Oh, and he allowed a temporary supervised visitation at one point in time, but DCFS came in and said because of the allegations and there's a lot of stuff going on, they had let their licenses expire. There was a bunch of stuff going on. They retired right after their daughter died, which could be just from the grief. But because of that, DCFS said no more visitation. And that was taken into the courts as well. And the court sided with them and said, it's your daughter. It's a privilege for them to get to be grandparents. And so therefore, that's it. That's all.
Yep. Did you guys hear about the 24-year-old who died after hospital staff thought she was being dramatic and she had a history of like pulmonary embolism? So she goes in, they leave her in the corridor for over an hour. They don't take her seriously. They put on an oxygen mask that was not even connected. And then she ultimately died because they thought, oh yeah, no, you're just being dramatic. You're complaining. They didn't even bother to go into her history to look that she has a history of pulmonary embolisms and instead just completely disregarded her. Yeah. And that's
it's
Clarissa
a computer
Street.
system. Are you kidding me?
Right. And she was 24-year-old University of Manchester graduate. And she died at Royal Oldham Hospital back in August 2024. And now, you know, the hospital's like, oh yeah, we mistakenly provided her with an oxygen mask that was not connected to any supply. So it's absolutely, they admitted that, you know, they incorrectly assumed that she was overreacting to a panic attack when she was actually suffering from a life-threatening pulmonary embolism, which again was in her history. But to like the gaslighting when this girl needed help and to leave her sitting in the corridor for over an hour, to have a mask on her that is not providing oxygen. And like it was multiple nurses also who handled her. So even if you got one piece of crap, two, like neither of you bothered to check this mask, like, and that's very scary, you know, thinking about the health system and stuff. And who's working.
What state is that? Is that across the pond?
I'm not sure. It's Clarissa Street.
Okay. Well, you have a real theme of Clarissa's going on.
I know. I thought the same exact thing.
Is your next story about Clarissa Shields? Because we're on a roll here.
It all.
Clarissa knows it all. I used to love that show.
It was such a good show.
Clarissa explains it all or knows it all.
Yes, Clarissa explains it all. I actually was backstage of a taping of theirs once. I saw Melissa Joan Hart in person and everything at Universal Studios. It was so cool.
Show.
We just happened to be lucky and like went on a particular day and they were filming and you could like, it was like the two-way where they couldn't see you or one, I don't know what you call it, but we could see them. And she was in there and she looked like I remember thinking, because I was really little, but I remember thinking and my parents talking about how she looked like a lot older in person. But yeah.
Well, she was a lot older, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. Pretending to be a teen.
Yeah.
Have y'all gone to the movies yet to see The Devil Wears Prada?
No.
I went and seen it. 2. Devil Wears Prada 2. I liked it. But I also like cheesy, like corny kind of movies. But I liked it. I thought it was really cute.
The first one was great. So but I tend to not like sequels. Like Beetlejuice 2, me and my spawn waited for years for that to come out and to find out all the major cast were in it. Well, that is the only reason I will accept Beetlejuice 2 for even existing, is that the original cast is in it. But it was horrible. The only sequel really I like is Home Alone 2 Stuck in New York. Like that one, you know, competes
No,
with the
Harry
first one.
Potter's got good ones. Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
that's not
Lord
like
of
a
the
sequel.
Rings,
Yeah,
Star Wars.
again, those are longer, not just like, hey, we're gonna make a second one. That's planned in advance to be a multi-part series. You know, Hunger Games, like, okay, whatever. But if it's like, hey, we're just throwing a second one in there because we decided the first one was a hit, and there's like obviously no plot, you know, like that's when it struggles, in my opinion.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I also watched the movie Is God Is, and I told Leroy it gave me a very like it's a very like Kill Bill style movie. And that's not really my thing, but maybe there's somebody out there that's their thing. But it just was a very like, I don't know, Kill Bill vibe for me.
Did you know Quentin Tarantino, to promote Kill Bill in like California, he had the billboards dumping like red paint as if it's blood onto the street?
No, did they actually like? Was it like red paint dumping down?
Yeah, it was like
or
red
just
paint
looked
coming
like it?
down to promote Kill Bill at the time.
Wow.
That's crazy. That feels a little excessive to me.
It
I
can't be
like
good for
it.
the environment. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let me see what
I
it
mean,
was.
could you imagine walking down the street and all of a sudden you got red paint all over you? I'd be pissed.
I would too.
I read another article. Did y'all know Idaho passed 2 laws? Okay. They go into effect in 2027, January 1st of 2027. The first one is aggravated assault. It's actually HB 380. Okay. It makes the death penalty a possibility for aggravated assault against a minor 12 years old or under.
Oh, wow.
Simultaneously, though, they passed another law separate from each other, but it's interesting. A separate law, which was HB 37, got passed, and they've chosen to remove injection as their main source of execution over to firing squad.
Ooh.
I saw that.
So it is possible that somebody who was convicted of aggravated assault on a minor, 12 and under, and there are some specific things that have to happen for it to be aggravated assault. It does not have to include death, though. It can be assault itself, but it is possible that they could get the death penalty and die by firing squad. And I wasn't that mad about it.
No.
Where is
Good.
that?
Idaho.
Well, I remember with Idaho, the argument came in with Koberger as he was facing the death penalty that he was possibly going to face the firing squad because lethal injection is expensive. It would have taken for whatever it may be. But with the firing squad, you know, I think maybe 12 of them. They don't even know who has the real bullet versus who has the fake bullet, so that it would help the executioners. But apparently it is, like, so you all shoot and it appears that you're all firing, but you will not know which one actually hit him. And so, and to think about it, even back in like Anne Boleyn days, you know, and stuff, when they would have the executioner, they weren't ever really mean to the executioner. Like a lot of them would pay respects to the executioner before they beheaded them because they understood that was their duty, that was their job. And so it's very interesting, you know, like to hear stories about what some of them did as they were about to, you know, get their head chopped off, and the respect that they showed to the executioner.
Yes, I heard, I was listening to a video on YouTube the other day, and it was about, what's her name? It was one of the, was it Maria Antoinette? No.
Marie Antoinette?
Was she married to a king?
I think so. I know more about Anne Boleyn and like King Henry.
I heard about Anne Boleyn too. They said Anne Boleyn was very calm and gracious right before she had her head chopped off.
Yes.
I just learned about that. I literally just learned that the other day, MJ.
Watch the other Boleyn girl. Like it's an older movie, but with Natalie Portman playing Anne Boleyn and Scarlett Johansson playing the sister Mary. And again, it's based off a true story. You know, obviously, like they, indulge at parts, to make it more entertaining. But everything actually about King Henry, which anybody who watches the show The Tudors also knows, he was crazy, and he took wife after wife after wife and killed them and killed them and killed them. Like, it was absolutely nuts. But yeah, she was shown also a high respect. I believe she had like a very specific sword that she was beheaded with. Obviously, like the higher in class you are, the higher of blade you have, aka the cleaner of a death it would be, versus the people who did not get a clean death because a very janky thing was used to behead them.
Yeah, it would take like sometimes several swings, and it's oh my God. But I did, that's so interesting. I need to send you the link to that video I watched, because it was about all of them and like where they ended up buried or where they're supposed to be buried, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I heard another one that led, I don't know how it led there, but watching all these like history videos on YouTube, I ended up on something today where it was showing Egyptians standing or squatting on 2 blocks to birth their babies. And it turned out the 2 blocks were their gods, were supposed to represent their gods.
Oh, wow.
And so they would squat with 1 foot on, each block.
Do you guys believe in evolution? Like,
count me out.
No.
I'm not going to be able to have this baby that way. Send me to wherever I need to go to.
It was
I
crazy.
couldn't do that squatting on I couldn't do it. That's
you could,
more power to
Nanya,
them.
the
I'm sure it's
same
their
way-
belief, but
the same way I'm sure people today, right? I could not do without modern medicine. I could not do without technology. But back then you can, because you don't know any alternative, And so don't actually take away from what you'd be capable of doing if you didn't know any of this was even an option. You know what I mean? You absolutely could. It may be hell. Death rates would be much higher, but women did it forever.
Egyptians were savage, bro. They were savage as fuck. Like and then I've been watching like the mummies, not The Mummy, the movie, but like the best preserved mummies.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. I'm all into that shit right now.
Yeah, everything like about evolution too, I personally believe that, we did not evolve from apes, but I feel like I align with, yes, we share a lot of common DNA, but I think there's a lot of history that we're just not familiar with. I don't personally believe in the evolution theory.
Yeah, I don't believe in evolution.
Neither do I.
I knew you wouldn't test.
What?
It just doesn't, it's just not my thing.
But talking about the mummies, it's incredible what they did and how they knew how to like take out the organs and wrap them and put that they stayed so preserved. Although it's amazing to me how they knew how to do that.
Oh,
very interesting.
Yes. One of them I watched yesterday, maybe. It don't matter when I watched it, but it was Ice Age animals, like animals back from before Neanderthals, before they kept saying I can't remember, but it was like frozen baby cubs and a frozen mammoth and I wish I could remember more of the details so I could tell you where to find it, but it was very interesting. It was very interesting.
Well, even think about Stonehenge. Like, Stonehenge is precisely designed to align with the sun's movements, and it marks the solstice and stuff. How the did they know that? Like, how could they have possibly known that? Like, that is insane. So everything with history is very, very fascinating to me. But I think that there are people who believe that, one, the earth is much younger than they claim, or two, like they completely took 2,000 years and just claimed it happened when it didn't. Like, we're much younger than they claim the earth is, and that they just tacked on like 2,000 years so that they could adjust the history according to what they wanted us to believe.
I know about all there was dinosaurs, there were cavemen, there was, like all these things. And then there's Egyptians and Jesuses and all of that. And I know there's a BC and a AD, right?
Yeah.
And that's before and after Christ.
Yes.
Okay, but before is supposed to be telling the story of leading up to. I don't understand it. I don't know what comes in what order, like what came first. I cannot figure. It's too much, Melissa.
So BC before Christ, AD after. But apparently Earth is 4.54 billion years old. Like, what?
So
like,
were dinosaurs here before Christ?
Yes.
Were Egyptians here before Christ? Who was here before Christ? Like, this was a whole world before Christ?
Yeah, it was. And they do trace it back.
Everybody was here. That's why they say they're the chosen people, despite how people may feel about it. But that's all those civilizations lived before he came.
Right.
Okay. And then, okay.
And humans are only supposed to be around 300,000 years, like that we've been on. And again, billions of years old Earth, but 300,000 years, like Homo sapiens have been here. But they can go back, they do trace it back. And like there is evidence as far as before Christ, Jones. And, like it's pretty crazy actually. But even thinking about like the Bible and stuff, it's a collection of multiple people, and it's their accounts for that time.
Yeah. But that's what kind of, it threw me off to think that Egyptians were before Christ. Like, that part is hard for me to understand because the Egyptians were like flashy and I don't know, they seemed, I don't know.
They're apparently around thousands
the
of years before Christ. Yeah, like allegedly thousands of years before Christ. They were around
So
Egyptians.
just a whole nother world. Just a whole nother world on the same world. It's
3150
not another
BC.
world. It was just another
Not
civilization.
another world.
Just like 1,000 years from now, what we have, what I akin it to is more like, we used to have 8 tracks and then there was cassette tape players and then there's CD players and then you could stream music. Like everything has an evolution to it. And 1,000 years from now, people will look back at this time and say, wow, look at those ancient days, right? Just like we do some of the older stuff. It's to me, it's very similar to that. Is civilization will evolve as time goes on.
I don't think that's probably what's as mind-blowing as like the pyramids were around for 2,500 years before Christ, right? And so when we think,
that's what I'm saying. That to me, my brain can't wrap around it.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much the time versus the lack of technology. Like for me, it's not so much that they existed. It's how the hell can they produce such amazing structures that have withstood all of this time with more precision than we can create today without any tools.
Thank you.
That's the part that blows my mind.
Yes, they're flashy, they're fancy. They seem like they're had their shit together. They were a force.
They did. They had advanced technology. I truly, in my heart, believe that there was an advanced race of humans, like a human civilization previously. I don't know if there was a great freeze or, like similar to like the dinosaurs after the asteroids, like where something got wiped out and humanity had to restart. And that's why we are so far behind. But I believe deeply that there was one time an advanced race of humans that were here on Earth.
I think so too.
I believe a little differently. I don't think that they had an advanced technology, so to speak, that just disappeared or froze or anything like that. I think that they had a work ethic and like even in tools of building, right? Okay, they took a rock and they shaved the rocks with each other to make a
No.
hammer and like stuff like that. I believe that they were much more they were probably more nature driven, more kind of more live off the land kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
that to me is like why their stuff withstands. Now our stuff is in general, our stuff is so commercial that it's made to break.
Nanya, for the pyramids, like specifically, it would have taken around the clock, like every few minutes, putting those bricks that are like the tons, like the size of an elephant, the weight of an elephant, down every few minutes, never more than a few minutes, for over 20 years. And those stones were not from there, and they were
They had
placed
2,000 years to build it.
No, but it was done in apparently over 20 years. Like I don't know all the specifics, but I remember like learning about the pyramids and how they were, and they are done so perfectly that you can't even fit like a piece of paper through each stone. Like, and so not only it's not like they had them and they just moved them, they had to bring them from a whole different area,
Right.
transport them, and then round the clock 24/7 for over 20 years to build those pyramids, and they were perfectly aligned with the stars and the sun and true north and things like that. How could they have that knowledge if you don't believe, like, okay, maybe tools, but how about the knowledge? How could they have had that knowledge of the universe and the stars and the atmosphere and things like that?
I think that before we called it astrology, they had time to sit out, like they could look at the sky and see the stars and draw pictures of the stars and realize that one is like, I don't think that they were stupid. Like, I think that again, if you take away our knowledge and put a little bit more of like a caveman style lifestyle in front of us, right? Like you're going to adapt to the environment that you're in. They adapted. So they looked at the stars like even in the Bible, so to speak, it talks about following the North Star, right? Okay, that tells me that people back then were looking at the stars. They were studying the stars. Maybe they didn't have the same words that we put on of the true north, right? We may have named it later on as as civilization evolved, we gave it the name True North. Maybe they didn't know it was True North. Maybe they just were like, oh, this is a North Star. And when I put this here, this goes here. Like, again, maybe they didn't have the name for it, but they knew something was happening. They knew what they could see.
This was more than just like the naked eye. Like those pyramids are aligned perfectly to mimic like the stars in Orion's belt and things like that. Like it's perfectly, even with Earth's axle, like and the tilt, like how could they have known that?
And the water running underneath and like the different, like they had, like they said they had running water underneath a lot of the pyramids. And how did they know how to do that?
And apparently it sourced energy, like, and that's the type of stuff that I do believe is happening that they have not shared, because I do not think they want us to know about an advanced human civilization. Like, I think they have thrown the evolution theory at us, like, and that's what they taught us. But I do believe, like, there's evidence absolutely that there was at one point, like, a very advanced human civilization.
If you mention the Goldilocks zone, I'm out.
No, that's Saturdays.
Nanya said they just figured it out. She just thinks they figured it out. And I don't think that's I think that's the same way I could believe that, there was something prior to them that we just don't know about. I could think that they could figure things out. I get that. But it's work ethic, yes, but Nanya, that's a lot. They did a lot.
Yeah.
Like
they did, and I believe they had some slaves that were working nonstop to build those pyramids during that time. I'm no historian, so don't quote me on any of this stuff. I don't know enough about it. But
I think you believe Jesus came after the golden pyramid. Like, what?
Well, that shroud, Jones, and like whether or not like you don't have to be religious to kind of look into the shroud itself and all of the research. It is insane. Like what I've been watching more and more videos on it, like what they are finding, even down to blood, that the moment that blood is out of the body, it is no longer alive. You know, like they're able to date, like, okay, how old is this blood? The blood they tested literally shows up as if it is alive, like the blood is living cells. How is that possible? How did it perfectly capture the image of a man? You know, like, again, whether you want to believe in Christ or not, he was a man, whatever it may be. Either way, you can't argue that it perfectly photographed his image, but at the same time, it did not seep in more than just like the outermost part of this cloth, you know, like, and so it's incredible, you know, like, but the blood thing threw me off. Like, there's absolutely no reason blood that old should be tested, and then it should be, and I don't know, it's not called living blood, but like as if it came from a living person, like it is still active.
Or the X-ray of the face, like there's no light, it would burn the linen up, and they have no idea how. All the scientists can't figure out how it happened.
I don't even know how we got on the historical stuff from the firing squad. That's what I don't know. I love it. I love it though. I do love it. So we have to end this at the 30. So we have about 15 minutes. Was there anything else anybody wanted to talk about? I have a couple more subjects if we don't have.
Tell you, I heard a new conspiracy this week that they're taking, ever since 2020, that a minute is actually only 45 seconds, and they're trying to like take time away. That's why everyone is so tired all the time. That's why it feels like there's not enough hours in the day. That, you know, like, you remember when we were little, we used to count, like, one Mississippi
is saying it's speeding up. Yeah,
right?
We've talked about that before. Like, time feels
I
like
believe
it's
that.
speeding up.
And that it,
I
like,
believe that. You
somehow
can feel
they
it.
did something where it's like 45 seconds, and it's really that, but we think it's a minute, but it's not the same as it used to be.
Mm.
And why
Kinda
do they want to
interesting,
speed
right?
up time
I don't know.
in this conspiracy?
I don't know that part.
Oh,
yeah, that could be debated. I always figured it was because of technology. Like, we have our face in our phones and technology all the time, that it's making us perceive that time is going faster, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I just don't know what the end goal would be to
I'm
speed
not
up
sure what
time. Like,
that
do we
is.
get to something faster? I don't know.
It could be. It could be something with technology, with AI, with, you know, because they say that, like, if you set a clock or like an old stopwatch, it will count time differently than your iPhone stopwatch will. I haven't tested it, obviously, but kind of interesting.
Oh, I'm interested. We'll have to do for science. We'll have to do a test of that because I'd be curious to know that. Did you guys happen to watch the roast of Kevin Hart? Did anybody watch that one?
I saw clips of it.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Any thoughts on it?
I don't know. It was different because it was on Netflix versus Comedy Central, so it just felt different. And it seemed like they were trying to top the Tom Brady roast. So it was just a little bit different. Everybody seemed a little bit more on edge, a little bit more watered down than I'm used to seeing a Comedy Central roast.
Okay. I thought it was different for me for a couple of different reasons. I like that Cat Williams came out.
Kevin, you're going to hear some things tonight that you're not familiar with. Those things are called punchlines.
I thought that was really cool to put it publicly out there that they had squashed their beef. So that was cool. I was sad that Tiffany Haddish didn't get a chance to go. I thought she would have been there. I also thought it was really weird that, like, the people who you know to be his friends, a couple of them showed up to roast him, but it's a lot of people that, like, you've never seen him around or with before. And all of them happen to have some type of show, podcast, something going on Netflix. And for me, it was just like, did Netflix just like, hey, since we got this contract with you, we're going to need you to come over here and roast Kevin Hart this is, got to be the conversation. Thank you. That was really weird to me because I think the roast is better when it's your friends roasting you personally.
Yeah.
So that was, but it was okay. I didn't even make it to the no, I did make it to the end of it. But I was just like, okay, could have been better.
Yeah, I was glad to see Ross made an appearance, though. He was looking healthier. And, he's always been the roast master, and he really showed why he's always had that title. He did great.
Listen, him in the Eddie Murphy leather outfit, I didn't know who he was before that. But I was like, this man came out in a tight ass, bright red leather outfit. It's going to be good.
What a story. Your dad was a street hustler and addicted to crack cocaine. So I guess being dependent on the rock runs in the family.
And then I later learned that he's supposed to be the roast master or the roast. They gave him another name. It was like, I don't know. It was another name, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. One of the all-time cringiest, not only roast moments, but just TV moments was when Mike the Situation was roasting Trump. Do you guys remember that? That was by far, I remember watching that live in real time.
Oh my God.
It being like a universal, you can feel the humiliation across the world watching it. It was so bad.
Humiliation for the comedian or for Trump?
For Mike the Situation from the Jersey Shore.
Whitney, what's your deal? You look like the chicks I used to bang before I had all this money.
Do it, baby. Do it.
You're a chick, right?
Okay, yeah.
On the Jersey Shore, we call ugly chicks grenades. But I actually wouldn't call you a grenade because you're not blowing up anytime soon.
What he was even doing there, we don't know. But just like how they dropped Snooki out of the New Year's Eve ball, okay? No need to do that. But he made like jokes about how I could squash you with my wallet. And the whole room was just dead silent. Like I've never felt more embarrassed for someone else in my life than that moment.
Oh, the jokes weren't landing for him.
They're bad.
No.
At all. It was bad.
I think it was before he got sober, right?
Yeah, it was bad.
Ooh.
Insert clip here.
Maybe that was a rock bottom for him.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Can't
We'll
go
put
much
in a clip of
lower.
that for everybody to see, and we'll probably put in a couple of clips from the roast, maybe, and see what we can do with that as well.
Yeah, Shane Gillis hosted this one, and when he was doing his opening monologue, it was a little awkward, and the audience seemed a little cringe and shocked. And I thought, do they not know what they're here for?
Yeah, you know what I actually went to afterwards because I wasn't really 100% sure how I would feel, but I know that comedians constantly step into territories that normally people won't talk about. Like they talked about, Cheryl, I can't remember her last name now. I'm sorry. About her husband committing suicide. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like clutching my pearls and like how she drove him to it. Right. And then I looked it up later on and I was like, okay, it was 30 years ago. Not that it's okay necessarily, but also like it's 30 years ago and this is comedy. But it reminded me. So I wanted to watch a lot of the other comedians' reactions to the roast. And outside of, there was a joke about George Floyd that nobody agreed with. But outside of that, everybody was just like, this is what you expect to hear in comedy. And this is where like free speech is fully at its, full capacities, I guess you could say. So that was interesting to see the comedians reacting to it.
I didn't like the Charlie Kirk joke either, personally.
And
but
that was another one I seen. Yeah, I didn't like that one. I feel like give it time. Like it's still too soon. There's still too much going on with it. But like it's just too soon,
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I want you all to know that I am sick of cooking dinner and I am gonna have to do some research on finding new dinner ideas because I'm over it. I feel like I cook the same things. It's meat and it's a rice or potato and a vegetable.
I've got a few TikTok people. Look, check the recipe or the food room.
I've
Tiny
tried
and
that.
them got sitting there all the time.
I know. I've tried most of those recipes.
Sheesh.
I don't know. Maybe you know what it is I'm going through a stage right now where I'm trying not to eat out and trying to make like healthier choices in my food. And so I think that's why like I'm being forced to have to cook every single day and eat breakfast, lunch,
Yep.
and dinner at home instead of eating out, which I know is it's probably just me being, like a spoiled brat and not wanting to have to cook, because then after you cook, you got to do the dishes. And then after the dishes, guess what? Tomorrow you wake up, you get to cook again.
Do it
Congrats.
again. I
Yeah.
could give you a couple of, like simple recipes that I know are like a go-to hit. They're just not healthy necessarily. Like they're not saying that they're horrible, but like at least the pasta dishes, obviously it's
Yeah,
pasta,
I
but
can
it's
find ways to
delicious
make
and
it.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I can find ways to make it healthy. Like we use protein pasta now instead of regular pasta or whatever.
You like the
So I can
chickpea
find ways.
pasta? Have you
Do
tried
I
the
like what?
chickpea pasta? I really like that one.
Zucchini.
The
I
chickpea one.
haven't.
It's really
Chickpea
good.
pasta. I have
Really good.
not. You liked it? Do you like
I really
chickpeas though?
it doesn't taste like chickpeas. It just tastes like pasta. Really, it's actually very good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I want to try the zucchini pasta, even though that is not going to be anywhere near real pasta. But I don't know, if you smother it in sauce, maybe it'll taste good.
Maybe it'll taste good.
People say it's good. So
You'll have to keep us posted.
yeah, come back next week for more.
Yeah. Well, that's it for us this episode. We thank you everybody for coming in and joining us during this live replay that you're going to get. And we're going to try and do this once a week and just talk about random things. And I think that is all. You guys have anything?
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Joneson. Good night, Tiny. Good night, Melissa. Good night, Tess.
Good night. I'll miss you girls.